इसमें चार्ज लगा दीजिएगा, ये चार्ज देते हैं। एक मिनट रुके 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 भैया, तो चार्ज लगा दीजिए, लगा दीजिए। Okay. Very nice. Good afternoon to all of you. My second so I am going to uh, the the second act of the birthday party, right? The second act of the birthday party. Read this uh, the to read this पर क्यों नहीं पढ़ रहा है? तो ये बताइए, उसके बाद फिर जो है पेन मार्कर के लिए मार्कर करवाएंगे। ये बढ़ता जाएगा ना। Right. So today I am going to teach you the second act of the play, right? And as I told you that this play चालू करें सुनील? Okay. Okay. So just I want to tell you that that this is a play that when you read in this play, there is how many, and Stanley, me, I am your visitor, Meg, you are lawyer, something like this. This is the first act, and then he said that Stanley, get out of it, you succulent old washing bag. And this succulent is a word which is very crucial. Succulent means it has a sexual connotation. It has a sexual connotation. Well, right? That as I told you that when you read 20th century literature, you find that there are a lot of sexual connotation, right? Which tells you about, as I told you, Freudian sleep. To some extent, if you read this play, and also you find the Freudian connotation, right? That how Sigmund Freud influence a lot of 20th century literature. So he says that that he says that then he says that to warm the pot at least make that good strong tea. That's all Stanley put head in his. Oh God, I am tired. Says Meg goes to the sideboard, collects a duster and vaguely dusts the room, watching him comes to the table and dust it. Right. So then says that why Stanley, I am really succulent. Statement that I am really succulent means that and this statement to read this play, this statement between Meg and Stanley, this is highly, there is you find Freudian sleep, right? You find Freudian sleep. Look, why don't you get this place cleared up? It is a pitchy. And another thing, what about my room? Right? It needs sweeping, it needs papering. I need new room. I have had some lovely afternoons in that room. He requires from her hand in disgust. He stands and exits quickly. By the door on the left, she collects his cup and the teapot and takes them to the highest shelf. The steel door slams. Stanley returns. So when you read this play, you find that there is a statement between Stanley and Meg. Meg treats Stanley as her own. Here you find Freudian. They told that Sigmund Freud has coined this term called called Freudian sleep, that which is called Oedipus complex. Oedipus complex, and this relationship that he has found is not somewhere, but the Oedipus the Rex. Oedipus complex. It's called Oedipus the Rex. Oedipus the Rex is a play. Oedipus the Rex, right? So he says that it needs sweeping, it needs papering, etc., etc. And then when you read this play again, that Meg, I like cigarette. He stands at the window smoke. He crosses behind him. And so what I want to tell you is that when you read this act of the first act, it is not very difficult. It is very simple act. And here we find the introduction of the characters like Meg and Pitty. And then we have Stanley. What did you take it away for? Meg, you didn't want it. Stanley, who said I didn't want it? Who gave you the right to take away my tea? Very common statement. There is nothing very extraordinary. Tell me, Mrs. Bowles, right? See, there are several names that a character gets. That he says, Mrs. Bowles. That there is another name for Meg, Mrs. Bowles. So Meg gets three names. Name. When you read Harold Pinter's other play like Caretaker, if you read his other play like Caretaker, then you read this Caretaker and the Caretaker. There is also a character Davis who who also find three names. Davis, that is Mr. Jenkins. This is the tradition that you find in Pinter's play, that characters he gets several names, right? Meg in a smart voice, I don't enjoy your breakfast, Stanley. She approaches the table, Stanley. When are you going to play the piano again? Stanley grunts, like you. Stanley grunts. I would like watching you play piano. When are you going to play it again? Stanley, I can't. Meg, who not? Why not? I haven't got a piano, have I? Say that no, I haven't got a piano. Piano is a symbol of his artistic genius, a musical instrument. Then Stanley Berlin, make. Yes, I am considering job at that moment. I have been offered a job as a matter of fact. Say that I played piano everywhere. You know that Berlin and Athens and since Constantinople, the place is also very significant. Where Renaissance occurred, that this is called Constantinople. And then Zagreb, Vladivostok. Stanley says that I have played piano everywhere. He said that I have played piano all over the world. I have made a concert at Lower Edmonton. To himself, I had unique touch, absolutely unique. Came up to me. They came up to me. They said they were grateful. Champagne we had that night, not Podge. My father nearly came down to hear me. Well, I dropped him a card anyway, but I don't think. No, I lost the address. That was it. Podge S. Lower Edmonton. Then after that, you know what they did? They carved me up, carved him up. It was all arranged. It was all worked out. My next concert somewhere else it was. In winter, I went down there to play. Then when I got there, the hall was closed. The place was shuttered up. Not even caretaker. They would lock it up, takes off his glasses and wipes them on his pajama jacket. A fast one. They pulled a fast one. I would like to know who was responsible for that bitterly. All right, Jack, I can't take a tip. They want me to crawl down on my bended knees. Well, I can't take a tip. Any day of the week, he replaces his glasses, then looks at Meg. You look at her, you are just an. So, what I want to tell you again, that when you read this play, you must keep in mind one thing, that is glasses. He replaces his glasses. Now, this glass is very symbolical. Glass is very symbolical. This glass is very symbolical. And as I told you in my previous video, that the glass is symbolical for what? For certain things. Number one, that it is symbolical of vision. It is symbolical of vision. It is symbolical of vision. Stanley. But when you read this play, you find that his glass is broken. Glass is broken by Goldberg and glass is broken by Goldberg and Mac. Finally, and this is very important. As I told you that when you read this, find the play in symbolical term. There are so many symbols, and you must read this play in symbolical term. As I told you, birthday party is also itself a symbolical play, right? It is a symbolical play. Then says that he across the table, aren't you feeling well this morning? Stan, did you pay a visit this morning? He stiffens, then he lifts himself slowly, turns to face her and speaks lightly, casually. Stanley, Meg, do you know what? Meg, what? Stanley, have you heard the latest? Meg, no, Stanley, I'll bet you have. Meg, I haven't. Stanley, I tell you. Meg, what latest? Stanley, you haven't heard it. Meg, no, Stanley, advancing. They are coming today. This is very important. Stanley says that they are coming today, and that is the point of truth. This is the birthday party, right? In birthday, we invite our guests. In birthday, we invite our guests. We celebrate birthday. Great birthday art. Great birthday, which is a part of our reawakening, right? Means vision. Refreshment, reawakening, right? So that's why we celebrate birthday. To say that Stanley says advancing that they are coming today, and that makes Stanley afraid. This is the point. Why? Because Stanley does not want to welcome the system, and this is very focal point of understanding about PINTER, that PINTER's world is a world where the characters defy system. When you read the plays of Samuel Beckett, for example, Waiting for Godot, or Crab's Lost Tape, or Endgame, find that the characters, they are eagerly waiting for Godot, who is a metaphysical presence. Who is Godot? Nobody knows. We don't know who is Godot, but we know that Godot, this is the only point, that Godot will come. He asked question that will Godot come? Go to, we are waiting for Godot. One day Godot will come. Finally, a boy comes. The symbol of hope. But when you read this play in birthday party, that Stanley is very frightened when he heard that Goldberg and Macon are coming. And second point, Stanley said that they are coming in band. That's also he is afraid. Meg who, Stanley? And do you know, they have got in that van what? That is another point. Stanley, they have got a wheelbarrow in that van. Meg breathlessly. Meg is frightened. Equal to that, when you read this play, there is fear, there is danger, and there is menace. Menace means this menace at the psychology. This menace at the psychology. Don't find this menace as a physical level. This is the basic point of Harold Pinter, that if you see Pinter's plays, you know that they are highly about menace. So this menace is basically, this menace is basically about psychology. Menace is basically about psychology, right? This is called psychological rebel, right? Stand advancing upon her a big wheelbarrow, and when the van stopped, they wheel it out and they wheel it up the garden path, and then they knock at the front door. They don't, Stanley, they are looking for someone. That's another point. It says that they are looking for someone, right? They are looking for someone, a certain person. Now that's another point. Stanley is afraid. Stanley does not want to be involved within the system, right? He is rather afraid. So he says that they are looking for someone, and this someone is none other than a person. He says that they are looking for someone, certain person. Meg hoarsely, no, they are not. Stanley, I tell you who they are looking for. Meg, no, Stanley, you don't want me to tell you. Meg, you are a liar. I sudden knock at the door, then Lulu comes. Now then Lulu is another character, comes. Then there is an entry of Lulu, who is a young girl. Oh, voice, Lulu's voice. Oh, Meg, it is past. Stanley collects her shopping bag. Meg goes out. Stanley sidles to the door and listens. Voice through letter box. Hulu message. As I told you that Meg hoarsely. These words that are written in bracket, they are very important in Pinter. And as I told you that for Pinter, what is said is not so important as what is not said. This is important. You read Pinter, you must keep this in mind, that what is said is not so important as what is not said. Something that is not written is so important. And this is the basic quality of drama, that is Pinter's dramaturgy. Read this point, that something which is written is not so important as something which is not written. So, unwritten words, and this is called Pinter's pause. It pause, silence, gesture. No, these are very important. So that's why I say that Mrs. Balls, 2-letter box, the door and listens. Why is 2-letter box? Hello, Mrs. Balls. That's why Stanley is afraid. He says that I am very frightened. Say that I am very, and that's how I think that first act ends. No, that doesn't act. Just I am continuing the first act. Meg, oh, has it come? Wise, yes, it just come. Meg, what is that? It yes, wise. I thought I would bring it round. Meg, is it nice? Very nice. What shall I do with it? Meg, well, I don't whispers. Wise number, of course, not whisper. Meg, all right, but whispers. Wise, I won't whisper. Tata message balls. Stanley quickly table. Enter Lulu. Lulu, oh Lulu, Stanley, Lulu, I just want to leave this in home. Stanley, do Lulu cross it to the sideboard and puts it solid and round parcel upon it. That's bulky object. Lulu, you are not to touch it. Stanley, why would I want to touch it? Lulu, well, you are not to anyway. Lulu walks upstairs. Lulu, why don't you open the door? Says all stepping. She opens the back door. Stanley, rising, Stuffy, I disinfected the place this morning. Lulu at the door, that's better. Stanley, I think it is going to rain today. What do you think? Lulu, I hope so. You could do with it. Stanley, me, I was in the sea at 6:30. Lulu, were you? I was at the 6. Right? Stanley, I went right out to the headland and back before breakfast. Don't you believe me? He sits, takes out a compact and powders her nose. Lulu offering him the compact. Do you want to have a look at your face? Stanley withdraws from the table. You could do with a shape. Do you know that? Stanley sits right at the table. Don't you ever go out? He does not answer. I mean, what do you do? Just around the house like this all day long? Or hasn't Mrs. Bowles got enough to do without having you under her feet all day long? Stanley, I always stand on the table when she's the floor. Lulu, why don't you have a vase? So you see that there is very simple. Lulu is rather if you understand if it asks that who is Lulu, just only understand that Lulu is a typical class girl, typical British girl, the British, the typical British, right? So you say that is telling here, oh, I don't know about that. Lulu, lovely out, and I have got a few sandwiches. Stanley, what sort of sandwiches? Lulu, cheese. Stanley, I am a big eater, you know. Lulu, that's all right. I am not hungry. Stanley abruptly, how would you like to go away with me? Lulu, where? Stanley, now where? Still we could go. Lulu, but where could we go? Stanley, now where? There is nowhere to go, so we could just go. Different matter. Lulu, we might as well stay. So you say that now we will go somewhere else. Lulu, we might as well stay here. Stanley, no, it's not good here. Lulu, well, that's a charming proposal. He gets up. Do you have to wear those glasses? Again, there's a glasses. I showed you this glass is very important. Again, there's a glasses. I have to wear those glasses. Stanley, yes. Lulu, so you are not coming out for a walk? Stanley, I can't at that moment. You are bit of wash out, are not you? If this left, Stanley stands. He then goes to the mirror and looks in it. He goes into the kitchen, takes off his glasses and begins to wash his face. Now this washing face is again symbol of fashioning or you can say recreate. Refashion or recreate. Called the washing of the face. A pause entered by the back door, Goldberg and Metcalfe. That is very important. So you see that Stanley went to wash his face, takes off his glass and begins to wash his face. Now the entry of these two characters, Goldberg and this is very important. Goldberg and Metcalfe. Now, who are they? There are several critics who have pointed out that they are the symbol of modern power, they are the symbol of modern system, they are symbol of what Foucault called that power is knowledge, right? They are instrument of modern bureaucratic society, or they are the symbol of the person of commodity culture. if we use Frederick Jameson's term, who says that postmodernism is cultural logic of late capitalism, right? So that is how this is very important. When you read this play, you find that the character of Goldberg and Macon, they are really very important, right? And Goldberg had a briefcase. They halt inside the door, then walk down the stage. Stanley, weeping face, glimpses their backs, the head. Goldberg and Macon look around the room. Stanley slips on his glasses, sidles through the second door and out of the back door. Now, Stanley is very afraid. You know that when Goldberg and Macon came, Stanley is very afraid. And then Macon, is this it? Goldberg, this is it. This is how Macon opens the question, that is this it? Goldberg says, yeah, this is it. Macon, are you sure? Goldberg, sure, I am sure. So they talk about that whether this is the place for which they are searching for. Goldberg, sure, I am sure. This is the place. Pause. Macon, what now? Goldberg, don't worry yourself. Macon, sit. Macon, what about you? Goldberg, what about me? Macon, are you going to take a seat? Goldberg, we will both take a seat. Macon put down the suitcase and sits at the table left. Sit back, Macon, relax. Goldberg says, Macon, relax, sit back. What's the matter with you? I bring you down for a few days to the side. Take a holiday, do yourself a favor, learn to relax, Macon, or you will never get anywhere. Macon, oh, sir, I do try. NET, again there is a name. Right? So, when you read this play, see that this is NET. Say that, Macon, are you sure? Yes, I am sure. Say NET. Say that NET. The secret is breathing. Take my tip, it's a well-known fact. Breathe in, breathe out. Take a chance, let yourself go. What can you lose? Look at me. When I was an apprentice at Macon, every second Friday of the month, my uncle Bernie used to take me outside regular as a clockwork. Brighton, Conway Island, Rottington. Uncle Bernie was not a particular. After lunch, services, we would go and sit in a couple of deck chairs. No, the ones with canopies. We would have a little paddle. We would watch the tide coming in, going out, the sun coming down, golden days. Give me Macon. Uncle Bernie, of course, he was an impeccable dresser, owned one of the old schools. He had a house just outside Basingstoke, at that time respected by the whole community. Now, this entire first long statement of Goldberg is very important. And see that this is what Macon says. This passage have been asked several times. This Uncle Bernie's story. This is called Uncle Bernie's story. This is what Macon is talking about. That Uncle Bernie used to do this. Tell me about this, that, right? And then we are moving forward. Macon, he was a cosmopolitan, he was all-round man. Cosmopolitan means globalized. That Goldberg reflected, yes, one of the old schools, Macon, and how do we know this is the right house? Goldberg, what? Macon, how do we know this is the right house? Goldberg, what makes it a wrong house? Theater of the absurdist, right? When you read this, as I told you that this play is theater of the absurdist. That is absurdist move. They are asking, they are repeating several things. How do we know this is the right house? Goldberg, what? Macon, how do we know this is the right house? Goldberg, what makes it wrong house? Say that, how do we know this is the right house? Then Goldberg says, what makes you think that this is the wrong house? If this is not right house, then it could be wrong house. How do we know? Goldberg, I wasn't looking for a number. Macon, no. Goldberg sitting in the armchair. No, one thing, Uncle Bernie taught me. Uncle Bernie taught me that the word of a gentleman is enough. That's why when this is what he says, that Uncle Bernie taught me that the word of gentleman is enough. Go away on business. I never carried any money. One of my sons used to come with me. He used to carry a few papers or a paper perhaps to see how the MC was getting on overseas. Otherwise, my name was good. Besides, I was a very busy man. I don't know who had his sons, Goldberg, but of course, I have been a family man. Macon, how many did you have? Goldberg, my last 2 years. The first grew up to be a fine boy. Say that I have one son, one fine boy. Meccan, what is he doing now? Goldberg, I often wondered that myself. Annual, that him, a quiet fellow. He never said much. Timmy, I used to call him. This play you find several names. At first his name of Emmanuel, then I call him Peter. Goldberg, that's right. Many, Manual, Timmy. So there are several types of characters. And this is Pinter's technique that one character has several names. One character has several names. The special technique of Pinter. Right? Let's say that I have a son. Name is this, right? Then he says that of course that is him. Then what he says? Then he says that Meccan, that's true. Goldberg, true, of course it's true. It is more than true. It's a fact. Meccan, you may be right. Goldberg, what is it? Don't trust me like you did in the old days. Meccan, so I trust you. Not Goldberg, but why is it that before you do a job, you are all over the place, and when you are doing the job, you are as cool as we sell. Meccan, I don't know that. I am just all right. Once what I am doing, when I know what I am doing, all right. Goldberg, well, you do it very well. Meccan, thank you, Nat. Goldberg, you know what, when this job came up, I mean, naturally, they approached me to take care of it. And you know who I asked for? Meccan, who? Goldberg, you, Meccan. That was very good of you, Nat. Goldberg, no, nothing. You are a capable man. Meccan, that's great compliment. That coming from a man in your position. Goldberg, well, I have got a position. Meccan, you certainly have. Goldberg, I would never deny I have a position. This position is a, what is this position? Position is a symbol of authority. Position is a symbol of power. Authority, power. Say that I have authority, power. Meccan, yes, it is true. You have done a lot of for me. I appreciate. Goldberg, say no more. Meccan, you are always been a true Christian. Goldberg, in a way. Meccan, no, I just thought I would tell you that I appreciate it. Goldberg, unnecessary to recapitulate. Meccan, you are right there. Goldberg, quite unnecessary. Pause. Meccan leans forward. Meccan, hey, Ned, just one thing. Goldberg, what now? Meccan, this job. No, listen, this job, which is going to be like anything we have ever done before. Goldberg said that this is a statement. That very simple language, and read display in symbolical order. Say that this position means that power, authority. Goldberg sides, stand, goes behind the table, ponders, looks at Meccan, quite fluent official tone. Goldberg, the main issue is a singular issue and quite distinct from your previous work. Certain elements, however, might well approximate points of procedure. Some of your other activities, all is dependent on the attitude of our subject. At all events, Meccan, I can assure that the assignment will be carried. This is their vision. Now, this is what he said, that the assignment will be carried out and the mission accomplished with no excessive aggravation to you or myself. Now, this is their main task. The main task of these two characters is to make assignment. And what is this assignment? This assignment is basically about taking Stanley away. I told you earlier, and when you read this play, find that they are taking. I don't know where they will take, but it is written in text that they are taking him. Monty is a doctor. To read Peter Schaeffer's Equus. Want to understand this play? Then understand Peter Schaeffer's. And then he said that all is dependent on the attitude of our subject. assignment. And that's why they have come. They have come to take Stanley away. So they say that we have come here not to celebrate the birthday, or not to, in fact, uh, to receive any hospitality. Rather, we have come here to take Stanley away, to make Stanley the victim of the society. He used terms of Michel Foucault. And what is this victim? This victimized nature means that they have come here to take Stanley away. And away for what purpose? Away for assignment. Assignment means this is the system of modern power. They have come here to take Stanley away, make him the subject of the modern power, to become the victim. That is how, this is how they make it very clear that I have come here to take. Macron say what? Thank you, Ned. Macron said, thank you, Ned. So Macron says, thank you, Ned. Now this is the, this line till now, if I say you till now, when you so far what you find is that these two characters are talking. Macron and Goldberg. They are talking, right? Then Meg enters left. So you know that there are, this is the only, we are still continuing in the first act. जब आप फर्स्ट एक्ट पढ़ते हैं तो आप पाते हैं कि देयर आर, the play begins in very simple manner. I told you Petty is reading a newspaper, make serve fast, cornflakes form a breakfast. Then there is another character who is called, this character is you know that there is Stanley, who is very frightened. Then Lulu, who is a typical English, typical English girl who comes to mediate, to take care of Stanley. Now the entry of Goldberg and Macron is very interesting. They initially, in the first act, in the very first act, they set up their proposal, and their proposal is to take Stanley away. And this is their assignment. Goldberg, oh Mrs. Bowles, Megias, Goldberg, we spoke to your husband last night. Perhaps he mentioned. This is what Goldberg says. Mrs. Bowles, Megias, Goldberg, we spoke to your husband. That's how we know that Petty is the husband of Meg. But we don't know that who is Petty. In the beginning of the play, Pinter has not mentioned. So Goldberg, we spoke to your husband last night. Perhaps he mentioned us. We heard that you kindly let rooms for gentlemen. So I brought my friend along with me. We were after a nice place, you understand. So we came to you. I am Mr. Goldberg. This is Mr. Meg, very pleased to meet you. They shake hands. Goldberg, we are pleased to meet you too. Meg, that's very nice. Goldberg, you are right. How often do you meet someone? It's pleasure to meet. Mecca never. Goldberg, but today it's different. How are you keeping? It balls? Meg, oh, very well. Thank you. And so I stop here today. So in this video, in this my second lecture of birthday party, one of the major plays written by Harold Pinter. When you read this play, you find that how Goldberg and Macron made entry, and their entry is rather very interesting fact, right? That they set their target, and their target is to take Stanley away as we proceed further for their assignment. And this assignment is, as Frederick Jameson and Michel Foucault and several other postmodernist thinkers believe, that this is the cultural logic of late capitalism, that after the Second World War and the Cold War, then there is this commodity culture, and this system, which is really very brutal system, this system which is not very cozy and relaxed one. Thank you. I stop my lecture here. In the next lecture, we will analyze the second act of the birthday party. Thank you. और तो बच्चे आए हैं। हाँ हाँ मिल लेते हैं उसको आज, वही उनके यहाँ मुलाकात हमारी, वही रविंद्र भैया की लड़की, रविंद्र भैया लड़की की शादी थी पिछले साल,